Hello folks, right, so time for an update on the bike. So where am I at with it? Well, basically, assuming that it starts tomorrow, it's finished. Basically, it's finished. So, yesterday the pulse generator came through the door when I was at work. So I've installed the new pulse generator and I'm hoping that will have fixed the starting problem. But obviously I can't test it right now because the bike's indoors. What I'm going to do is some point tomorrow, I'm going to take the bike outside and I'm going to test it. I'm going to see if it starts and if it runs. So fingers crossed. So what else have we been doing? Quite a lot of stuff really. Well, bits and pieces. I think I already spoke about the paint and stickers and stuff. That was done kind of at the weekend, but I've been doing other bits and pieces as well, so we'll just go over some of the other bits and pieces that I've done this week to kind of finish it off. So we've now got proper mirrors. The bar end mirrors that I had before were pretty rubbish. They basically kind of just didn't really kind of stay still, just kind of, they weren't very secure basically. These are rock solid. There's no giving that. They're bolted into the handles. I got them off eBay as usual, just for a change. They're carbon effect. Obviously, they're not real. Excuse me, they're not real carbon. They're about £7 or £8, I think, for the pair. So that's pretty much them. Obviously, they're shiny new. I'm not sure how effective they'll be. It's difficult to tell how effective they'll be until I actually take the bike out on the road. I mean, they're nice and clean, obviously. We'll see how good they are when I actually ride the bike. There's quite a bit of adjustment in them as well. You can kind of swivel them on. They swivel on that bit, they swivel on there, so you can kind of adjust them forwards and backwards and, you know, all over the place. So that's the mirrors. So I'm quite pleased with them. I certainly like how they look. I think they go well with the rest of the bike. Go well with the lights and I think the carbon goes quite well with the matte black paint and that. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with them. What else have we got? We've got bar ends. Obviously, because I had bar end mirrors on before, I didn't really need bar ends, but when I took the bar end mirrors off, I needed to get some. So I got these again off eBay. They're about £5 a pair, I think. Basically an alloy bar end with an Allen. You just put an Allen key in, just tighten it up, nice and solid. There's no giving them, and they just kind of finish the end of the bars off. And also the weight of them, I think, is meant to cut the vibration out, because otherwise you get vibration coming through the bars. So obviously they're kind of small, but that's what I wanted because the bars are pretty wide as it is. I didn't really want to make the bars even wider, because you know, then that kind of like makes the bike kind of wide for filtering and what have you. So that's the bar ends and the mirrors taken care of. What else have I done? I've also put another headlight on. So excuse me. Obviously, we had the projector beams that I put on ages ago. They come on when you turn the ignition key, and they're basically like a dipped beam. I've kind of angled them so that they're kind of dipped beam. For example, if I turn that on now, they'll shine about there on that cupboard. But I discovered that I also need a main beam for the MOT, so I was trying to work out how I was going to do that, and I was thinking about fitting like another projector beam, but the projector beam light that I had didn't have a bracket built in, and I couldn't figure out how to fit it. I'd have to make up my own bracket and I couldn't be bothered. So basically I had a pair of these rectangular sort of car spotlights that my neighbour gave me ages ago, and I never got around to using them. So what I did was I just made up a little aluminium bracket which I bolted onto the underneath of the top yoke, and then I bolted the lights bracket. This bracket was like already fitted on the light, so I just bolted that onto the front end. So it's basically like 3 holes to to get that to fit, and then hung that light on there, and then I've wired that light in. So I've wired that light in so it switches on or off, because obviously being main beam you have to be able to switch it off. So basically the lights work the way that lights on most modern bikes work. When you turn the key on, the dip beams come on, and then you have a button that you can press to give it main beam. So I've also put the screen back on. I've had to trim the bottom of the screen because that was kind of round. It was kind of rounded where I cut it off here. The rounded bit before fitted in quite well there, but it didn't fit so well with the top of this light, because the top of this light is kind of basically flat. So basically just cut that flat and then excuse me, put the screen back in. Obviously because the light's there, it's raised the screen up a bit, which is actually not a bad thing because it means it gives a little tiny bit of weather protection and just like keep the rain off the clocks and that, but probably not actually do much to keep the weather off me. But anyway, I think it looks alright anyway. A little kind of black fly screen, and I know the lights are kind of unusual, but I kind of like that. The two little projector beam, round projector beams, and a single rectangular main beam. I think it looks kind of quite cool, kind of different. I can show you it working. So see when I turn on the key. So there we go, we've got the clocks coming on, and we've got the dipped beam headlights there. And then when I switch this switch here, we also get main beam, which is quite bright, and it shines a bit higher. Whether the angles are quite right, to be honest, I'm not really sure, but I guess I'll find out when I take it for an MOT. If it's not right, then obviously it'll not pass. But there again, it's quite easy to adjust it, so I can just kind of adjust that until it's the height that I need it. These are a bit harder to adjust because you have to undo that screw, but again, it's not too much of a big deal. So that's it, that's the lights sorted, mirrors sorted, bar ends sorted, all the paint and everything done, put the pulse generator in. Basically it's ready to go for an MOT now, it's ready, everything's done. Basically I just need it to run. So I'm really hoping it runs tomorrow when I take it out. So fingers crossed it'll run. If it doesn't run, I'm just going to have to think again and try and figure out why not. I'm pretty confident that it was the pulse generator that was at fault, so we'll see. But anyway, I'll put another video up over the weekend. If it runs, obviously I'll put a video up of it running. If it doesn't run, I'll put a video up anyway, and we'll take it from there. Super, thanks for watching.